Hello everyone and welcome to another Thomas video. So today we're going to take a look at Golgari mid-range featuring Formidable Speaker in Thomas format. So we got a new card from Lorwyn Eclipsed, which I think is pretty excellent. It's called Formidable Speaker, which is a 3-mana card that lets you tutor for a creature spell if you discard a card from your hand. So because we are playing something like this that can tutor for any creature that we want, we have a lot of one-ofs, such as Weasel Guard. We also have a copy of a Shawdred, and we also have a copy of a Grist that you can kind of tutor for these cards depending on the situations. So for example, if you already have a Strip Mine in the graveyard, you can go for Weasel Guard. Or if you really need to get rid of something, you could even tutor for a Grist. Or you can even tutor for something like a Shawdred if you already have the One Ring down on the battlefield. But more importantly, this deck is also going to house Sorin and Saint Alenda, so you can even tutor for something like a Saint Alenda to your hands so that you can play the Sorin and put the Saint Alenda down, which is extremely powerful. But let's say if you already have Saint Alenda in your hand, you could potentially go for Formidable Speaker into Overlord of the Belmerk, since the Belmerk happens to be a creature as well, and this way you can try to search for the Sorin this way with the Belmerk, which is also pretty cool. And to end the note, let's talk about the Formidable Speaker's other side of the ability. You can pay 1 mana and tap itself, and you can untap another target permanent, which is actually quite relevant in a lot of the cases. For example, if you have Ancient Tomb down on the battlefield, you can ramp 1 mana if you do this by untapping the Ancient Tomb. Or let's say if you have something like a Deathrite Shaman, you can also use the activated ability of a Deathrite Shaman twice in a single turn. But the most powerful thing you can do with the Formidable Speaker is actually the One Ring, letting you untap the One Ring, draw more cards. So this card is extremely powerful if you can somehow also abuse the fact that you can untap target permanent. So I'm hoping it works out. So having said that, I'll be hopping over to some Thomas Special 3 to show you guys what that does. So let's hop over. All right, let's try this deck. Opponent doesn't have a companion. I'll start with the Thoughtseize first. Interesting. Some sort of a sacrifice combo, I guess, with the Marionette. Yeah, it seems like a sacrifice combo, perhaps. What is a double team? When a creature with a double team attacks, if it's not a token, conjure a duplicate into your hand. Let's get rid of that. Oh, it's flying! I didn't even see that. Huh, okay. Okay, I didn't see that. I guess like the best card here is probably Shawdred then? Just so that I can kind of stabilize, you know? So they got a sacrifice outlet. They sacrificed it. Okay. Honestly, I'm a bit scared. I am a bit scared. Whenever another creature you own dies, return it to your hand unless target opponent pays 3. Okay, so I just need to pay 3. Sure. My life total is relatively healthy, like especially considering Deathray Shaman. And the One Ring, apparently. I'm gonna get rid of their planes. Okay, opponent had another tear of the track. Okay, so this is gonna be really cool. We're gonna draw with the One Ring. And we're gonna untap it with the Formidable Speaker. No, you didn't let me untap the One Ring. Okay, so we're dealing with a bunch of 2-mana cards, but they do have a lot of these a lot of these damaging effects when they die, so I do need to be a little bit careful. These have 1 toughness, so I guess Orcish Bowmaster is also gonna be pretty good. But they do have a sacrifice outlets with the Zealot. I don't know how good the Thought Seizes are gonna be. They are technically a combo deck, but not sure. So here's the thing, this deck is very, very hard to sideboard because we run Formidable Speaker and bunch of 1-ups. I can see Grist being kind of slow against their deck. This is really good if it's like 1 or 2 creatures, but when there's like a lot of like small creatures, Grist becomes pretty bad. Yeah, I guess Thoughtseize is probably the card to go. Okay, we got a bunch of lands into 1 ring. Not too shabby. And a Dark Ritual. Marionette. I'm gonna be taking so much damage if I Calling Ritual. I want to save the Dark Ritual for Shard Return. I mean, technically we have 5 Sheoldreds, if you think about it, since we have a formidable speaker. Belmerk. Okay, let's start with getting rid of a marionette, since that thing is, I think, the most dangerous. Wow, you're going to just get rid of all the creatures. Okay, sure. I think I'm actually going to get rid of a Phyrexian Tower. Right, we got Soren to gain back some life. Okay, that has that touch. I might still have to attack with the Belmerk, though. Let's see what we draw first. Okay, that's even better. Even better. Okay, we're gonna strip mine their land here, in case opponent has like a source or something. Then we're going to Soren. Oh, they have a surgical.
Defeating you will not bring me pleasure. Nor join my crusade.
Oh, right. GG's. Well, would have been good if one of these were actually produced black or green. This hand is terrible too. I could have mulliganed to 5, but if I do that, I lose the game, so... yeah, I'm gonna lose the game anyways. Is it an Orcish Bowmaster? Is it an Orcish Bowmaster? This is a really good land. But I fear that we are going to be losing very soon to the Ocelot Pride. No Bowmasters. Okay. Guide of Soul. Yeah, this is pretty bad, honestly. We have 0 board presence because we skipped like turn 2 and 3. Even with the One Ring, without like a board wipe, it's kind of hard to answer this board already. And our hand isn't looking too hot. Gonna be honest with you.
Nothing is more important than family.
Yeah, even with the Saint Talenta coming down, this is probably a loss. Zero removal spells, huh? Alright, we're gonna want the Culling Ritual, double Bowmasters, Thought Seizes out, Wrist out, and we're gonna go with this. One lander. How much do we care about Sheldred? I think Belmerk is a little bit too slow, maybe? Oh well, good thing we did that, by the way. Do we want to keep this land for opponent's Strip Mine? Maybe. Swords to Plowshare. So we got a little bit punished here for playing the Strip Mine instead of Verdant Catacomb. So that's kind of bad. Since I can't go Ancient Tomb, play this, and then leave up a Fatal Push. Right? I could Fatal Push this turn and then Formidable Speaker next turn. But I feel like that's a little bit too slow. Yeah, why do I even get, honestly? Because like Worry Zone Guard doesn't do anything. We already lost a Sheldred. Orcish Bowmaster is kinda not impactful. I guess I have to pray for Soren at this point. Okay, maybe we have a chance. Okay, we'll see. I could have drawn with the Formidable Speaker as well, but not sure how long it's gonna take for us to find the Soren. That's the thing. So I got a little bit scared. I'll take away their white source.
Teamwork triumphs.
Yeah, Soren Waiting Room or Calling Ritual. Oh, thank God. Okay, I got very, very lucky.
Fortunate I have not killed you already. Join my crusade.
Another land. I'll untap the One Ring on opponent's turn. Because if something were to happen to these, at least I have a Formidable Speaker as a blocker. Yep, the Raptor. Okay, that's a very good card. Very good card.
My heart is too hollow to care.
There it is, Calling Ritual. Alright, I think that should be GG's. Do I want to attack first? If I attack first... Alright, opponent surrenders. Yeah, that was actually a pretty complicated game because I had to Formidable Speaker into getting a Saint Lenda kind of blindly. Since Death Ray Shaman, Wary Zongar, Sheoldred, these all got shut down, including the Belmerk, so I couldn't really grab it with the Formidable Speaker. So I had to kind of blindly get Saint Lenda. Like, it's insane that they play Leyland of Void in an energy deck, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay, okay, sure. Oh, we got a Fatal Push. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of opponent's red source. Now leave up a Fatal Push for the Oscillate Pride here. Okay, One Ring or...
Right beside me, brother.
Oh, that's actually really good. So let's say I Orcish Bowmaster on... at the end step. What happens? Nothing really changes, right? So, Surveil. Nice, One Ring. I'll grab a forest. So for some reason, I thought I needed that forest to cast the One Ring, but... I think we just win. Alright, Calling Ritual. Lord and Savior. We're against the Loris. We're going second. Belmerk. They kept everything. Another energy. Lots of energy. Lots of energy. Okay, they took my Sorin. Are they going to cast it? Okay, we got another Sorin. Fun enough. So they're gonna be casting the Loris next turn. But they have double Static Prison. This is really bad. Not gonna lie. Because, like, technically, the Saint Alenda doesn't do anything. They have double Static Prison. They stole my Formidable Speaker. This is gonna be kind of rough, unless I can finally find the One Ring or Fatal Push for the Loris. The fact that we can't kill the Loris... Oh wow, they went for a Formidable Speaker. Interesting. And they also discarded a land. They also discarded a land. So, Blood Crypt, Sacred Foundry, I just have to get rid of a Blood Crypt here. So that they can't cast Juggernaut. And we'll go Sorin here. And put a Saint Alenda down. Honestly, maybe I just make another creature as a blocker. Yeah, the double Static Prison is gonna be pretty rough, actually. They can get rid of a Saint Alenda and the token. And they're gonna probably attack the Sorin here. Another Strip Mine. Oh man, this is kind of rough actually. I think I have to chance it. So that they can't play the Peddler. And then play the Belmerk next turn as a creature. That's probably my best bet. a Johnny. It's pretty good.
Where shall we hunt today?
Oh, the next one was One Ring. Yeah, it's looking a little bit rough here. I might still have to block the Oslo Pride. Oh my god, that is crazy. Triple Static Prison. That's gonna do it. If opponent didn't have that many static prisons, I think we would definitely would have won, but man, that was a little bit rough, wasn't it? Well, maybe it's a good hand. Honestly speaking. Seems like a pretty decent hand. Juggernaut Peddler comes out, that's fine, since we can go One Ring next turn. Belmerk. Another static prison. One's really good at drawing static prisons. Okay, so calling ritual waiting room. Okay, Soren, that's really good. Oh my god, look at the amount of Guide of Souls they have. Okay, that's unreal that they had another Juggernaut Peddler as well. So I guess the only thing that saves us is a Calling Ritual. We still haven't milled a Calling Ritual, so there's a good chance we might see one soon enough, hopefully. But it's definitely not looking good. Fatal Push is not going to do it. Unfortunately. These also don't do it. Guess we lost. I guess we lost. As long as opponent doesn't have a, you know, another creature to go along with the Guide of Souls, I have a chance, but it's not looking so hot. It's not looking so hot right now. Okay, so opponent didn't have anything, which is good. So this is a land into Loris. Hopefully. Let's just say hopefully. If I block like this, I take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is technically good enough, I guess. And then I go to 1, and then I cover 3 life. We'll see. Okay, so the last card is a Galvanic Discharge. So we still have a chance of top decking Calling Ritual and potentially winning the game. Or the One Ring. We didn't get it. Didn't get it. I'll grab an Orcish Bowmaster. I'm gonna attack with a Belmerk. Hopefully we get Sorin. We got Sorin. I should have attacked first before playing the speaker. Okay, so I shock. Sorin comes down, make this card unattackable. Then we have 1, 2. Kind of a crazy game.
Defeating you will not bring me pleasure. I guess you'll do.
Wow, what a game that was. That was kind of unreal because we were 33 cards deep in and we still haven't seen a Calling Ritual, which was kind of unreal. So I'm assuming opponent's playing 4 Static Persons? Do I need a Terra Sunder? Or maybe a Force of Vigor? I don't know. Maybe I'll have a copy of a Force of Vigor instead of a Belmerk. Oh man, it's really bad hand. Oh wow! We have it instantly. That's great. Turn 1. Sorin into Alenda. I'm not gonna lie, it's not even that great thinking about it. Like, as crazy as that sounds, but
I guess you'll do.
it's not that crazy. The good thing is we have a 1 ring backup. So that's an Orcish Bowmaster coming down. Okay, never mind. I thought it was gonna be an Orcish Bowmaster. Johnny.
What a beautiful day, brother.
I guess I still have to Fatal Push right now in case a Johnny transforms when I One Ring. If they play a creature, they can kill the Sorin by making this fly anyways next turn. So I should probably just attack with this creature. Unless this is like full control out of spite. I don't know. I have seen people do that. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be attacking with this card just to gain some life back, because since if they just play a creature, they can kill the Sorin anyways. So it's probably just better to, you know, gain some life back so that the One Ring can eventually get to the Calling Ritual that we're looking for. Also, opponent's mana base not looking too hot, honestly. We have a Strip Mine on the Sacred Foundry, and that'll be really, really good. Okay, potentially opponent just may have given up. Potentially. Oh man. They just have a stop on every phase, apparently. So this is going to be the third rope. And I think that's probably going to be it. Which is kind of a shame because I wanted to see where this was going. Alright, so we took a look at this deck today. Couple things to mention. I think the Formidable Speaker is a very, very good card. It's a bit expensive, but that's why we are playing in a deck with an Ancient Tomb. Having said that, you'll probably quickly realize some of the cards that you think might belong in this deck, such as Chrome Mox, for example. We're missing a Chrome Mox in this deck. Potentially like Grief as well, and potentially Reanimate, right? We are missing quite a bit of cards here that you usually kind of see in a deck like this, right? Belmerk has some really good synergies with the Reanimate and Grief, and even the Formidable Speaker has some pretty good synergies with the Reanimate as well, because discards, and you can potentially Reanimate. The reason why I couldn't fit the Reanimate and Grief together, short answer is that we just couldn't find the room, so we had to cut the Reanimate package into just the Thoughtseize, which saves me 4 more cards. The reason why we're kind of having trouble with the main board is because we are trying to fit in a brand new card from the Lorwyn, Eclipsed, Formidable Speaker, which is a tutor spell for the creature. But we're also trying to play Sorin package in the deck, along with Sheoldred and the Ring package. And on top of that, we know that the Formidable Speaker can't really tutor for Sorin. So we have instead the Belmerk, which can look for Sorin and Elenda. And if you see that you have a Saint Elenda in your hand, you can Formidable Speaker for a Belmerk in trying to find the Sorin. So because we're trying to play Belmerk and the Sorin package and the One Ring package, it is just so hard to fit in Grief and Reanimate in the deck. So I had to make a choice. Do I want to play the Reanimate package, or do I want to play the Soren package, basically. I think the answer was simple. For the sake of the video, I think this is a much cooler version than just playing Reanimate Grief. So I took out the Grief and Reanimate despite having a bunch of synergies. As for the Chrome Mox, I think the downfall of the Golgari mid-range, in my opinion, is the mana base. The mana base is atrocious. It's trying to loop the Strip Mines with the Weary Zone Guard, so the deck has to rely on 4 copies of Strip Mines and 4 copies of Ancient Tomb. But what ends up happening is if you're also trying to fit the Chrome Mox, let's say you go down on Wooded Foothill and the Bloodstained Mire, so now you're looking at 9 black source and 9 green source. So if you try to rely on Chrome Mox with this few green cards, you're gonna run into a lot of mana issues. So whenever I play the Golgari mid-range with the Chrome Mox, Strip Mines, and Ancient Tomb, the mana base was so atrocious, I didn't really have fun playing the deck. If I'm playing a deck with an Ancient Tomb and Strip Mine, I want to be able to play a mono-colored deck such as mono red or mono black for that purpose. So I really dislike the Chrome Mox because you have to go down on fetch lands, and if you go down on fetch lands, you also make Deathray Shaman bad. So in a previous Golgari mid-range decks, I would play a Deathray Shaman and I'm playing against a mono red, for example, and they have no lands on the other side in the graveyard, and I just have a lone Deathray Shaman without being able to generate any mana, which is extremely bad. So because mono red is also pretty popular in the format, I just didn't want to play a version where I have Chrome Moxes that would make the Deathray Shaman bad, and I wanted to have fetch lands instead. So that's kind of where I am with the mana base right now. So currently we are playing 23. You could say we're playing a little bit too many lands. In a Strip Mine format, especially a mid-range deck like this, I want to be able to cast things, and if I have too many lands, I can just discard it to the Formidable Speaker. That's kind of where I'm at with the land base right now. So with this land base, we currently have 13 black sources and 13 green sources, which is enough to cast majority of your cards without much difficulty. I think the Grist might be a little bit hard to cast, but it's just a one-of, you know? Yeah, with the Ancient Tomb and Strip Mine, the Grist is going to be a little bit hard to cast, but hopefully you don't draw it, and hopefully you only get this from the Formidable Speaker if you really need it. Perhaps you don't even need Grist, and just play another copy of Weary Zone Guard, you know, another copy of a Shaldred or Soren. A lot of things can work. As for the sideboard, this Bitter Triumph is a flex slot. It's just there as another additional like removal spell. Shaldred's Edict versus potential Reanimate or Dark Depths. And then we have a Disruptor Flute versus Dark Depths, Necropone's decks, Belcher decks, Show and Tell, things like that. And we have a Fairy Macabre. This is a new card from Lorwyn Eclipsed, a special guest set. It's a common card, so you can just craft it without too much hassle. The reason why we are playing the Fairy Macabre instead of a Surgical is because this is a creature. So if you really think you're going to get blown out from an opponent playing a Reanimate next turn, this is something that you can tutor for with the Formidable Speaker, which is excellent. And we have 2 copies of Orcish Bowmaster to bring in versus blue decks, and we have a copy of Terra Sunder against opponents with the One Ring. Or you can even potentially bring this against Dark Depths as well, because this one exiles if you kick it. We have 2 copies of Force of Negation versus Mono Red, but thinking about it, Mono Red nowadays don't even play Blood Moon, honestly. So maybe I'm supposed to have something like Dismember instead. Yeah, instead of a Bitter Triumph, let's play another copy of a Dismember so that you can kill the Magus of the Moon. And then lastly, we have 3 copies of Calling Rituals for Energy, which was excellent today. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.